Hey, what is up, guys? We are back here at Casa de Badger, aka the Badger's Den, aka the Ripatorium, aka Thunderdome, aka my backyard. Just finished up with my workout, and we're wrapping up week 2 of Operation Be Less Fat 2K20. So here is a little update on how shit's coming along. As of this week, I've averaged out to 179 pounds, so I'm down below 180. I'm down 5 pounds overall. I've been mixing things up a little bit with my kettlebells, trying some heavier shit, trying some different movements. As far as calisthenics go, same shit, man. Push-ups, pull-ups, bridges, and pistol squats. Just trying to get better at the variations, and get stronger. So yeah, I guess overall, I feel pretty good. I feel like I'm looking a little bit more trim. I feel solid. My clothes are fitting a little bit looser. I have more energy. That's that. So we get to the nitty gritty, the more important shit. And I have a request from one of our fellow Badger Clan members. A friend of mine goes by the name of Nicole. She is a paramedic and first responder. Thank you for all that you do, much appreciated. And she's asking me about upper body strength. It's something she's struggled with, and she's curious about how to get a stronger upper body. So I thought I would kind of break it down and put some thoughts out there. Again, guys, if you have questions and you'd rather me slow my pace down or something, hit me up in the comments. I'll write to you, message me personally on Facebook, or if you want to message the page, and I'll give you something written. Probably be a lot easier to follow. I'll give you a nice little outline in 2 seconds. But anyways, so when we're talking about strength in general, any kind of strength, I feel it's important to define what strength is, okay? And what I mean by that is context, okay? So are you looking for strength that you're gonna use for a specific sport, right? Like if you're in gymnastics, training iron crosses and variations of such are gonna have a direct carryover to what you do, right? So there's gonna be certain movements that you do to build that. But if you're not a gymnast, then you really don't have a reason to tax yourself like that. There's other stuff you can do. So you need to define strength. For my purposes, I use grappling as kind of like my bullwhether, and the physical skills that go into that. Some people just want to be stronger, and if you just want to be stronger, then you can define it in terms of simply doing more or harder variations, or more harder variations of what you do. So the idea would be like a push-up to a one-arm push-up, or a pull-up to a one-arm chin-up, or something along those lines, right? So if you could do 5 pull-ups, and then 6 months later doing 5 one-arm chin-ups, you're stronger, right? Makes sense, okay? Bugs out here. Second of all, I thought it'd be pretty interesting to just define really what strength is. People just think it's like, oh, I'm getting stronger, like it's bench pressing 5 more pounds, or deadlifting 10 pounds, or doing 50 more push-ups. But really what we're talking about is adaptation. And a principle that I've always kept in mind, it's been sort of a guide for me, SAID, specific adaptation to impose demand. And all that says is, if you impose a demand on your body adapts to it, right? So how do we get stronger? By progressively doing harder work or more work, forcing adaptation in your body, and then you recover and rest, right? And let your body adapt to that, and then you try harder stuff. So I know it sounds like some crazy shit, but it's really not, okay? So how do we go about forcing adaptation in upper body strength, specifically, in keeping with your question, Nicole? Okay, so the way I would structure it, the way I do structure it is, what do you do with your upper body, right? You got pushes and pulls, essentially, right? And you can push vertically, up and down, like a dip or a handstand push-up, and you can push horizontally, like a push-up, and you can pull vertically, and you can pull horizontally. And then there's multi-planar movements all through that, which we're not even gonna get into. That shit's way more complex, okay? So what I would suggest is picking a horizontal push and a horizontal pull, a vertical push and a vertical pull, and making those your staple movements, okay? So what I focus on is, I'm a little bit more experienced in strength work, is I shoot for handstand push-ups and one-arm push-ups. Those are like my two top tier skills, right? That's the hardest shit I'm gonna do. That's the main movement, okay? Some other people who want to do like calisthenics power moves, you could do a planche push-up or any variation of such, right? Or like handstand push-up on a ring. It doesn't matter what you do. The idea is just get stronger from all those angles, right? You don't want to be a one-trick pony. You want to have three-dimensional strength. So anyway, pick some. For the sake of this, we're going to talk about one-arm push-ups, because I'm assuming that most people are going to have difficulty with a handstand push-up. And I feel that you shouldn't even really be attempting stuff like that until you develop like a base layer of strength, right? So what do I mean by that? Maybe like 50 push-ups, right? Okay. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna find a variation of that horizontal push that you can do for 1 rep, or maybe you can't do it all, or maybe 2 reps. So that's really, really tough, right? For me right now, it's just doing one-arm push-ups. I do about sets of 5. They're very challenging for me. So how did I get from being able to do like a few push-ups to being able to do 5 one-arm push-ups? It's simple. It's called scaling, okay? And all you're gonna do is use mechanical advantage, right? Levers to make the exercise harder or easier, okay? So following my little spiel here, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna demonstrate some movements of ways to scale this. So all you're gonna do, and I kind of broke it down really, really simple, I think, is find your hard shit, attempt your hard shit, right? It could be a skill or a movement, it doesn't matter. When you find one you can't do, you do something slightly easier, something that's gonna challenge you for maybe like that 5 to 10 rep range, right? And you're just gonna keep doing that, right? Keep doing that movement until it becomes easier. Try a hard movement and then do easier variations of that hard movement to build strength to do the harder stuff. That's it. And I'm gonna show you basically some ways to scale the one-arm push-up. And then I'll go over and I'll do some chin-up stuff, and we'll go from there. And then if this is entirely too confusing for you, well, message me and I'll write something out for you. Okay? So wait there. I'm gonna go get my filming partner, Badger Clan member, Ken's, and we're gonna knock this shit out, okay? So wait around. Okay, so hey, I'm back. How did I get from over there over here really quick? It's simple. So, scaling the push-up, okay? I know I babble incoherently, so I figured I'm gonna show you. Seeing is believing, right? So, pretty simple. Everybody has been in school, I'm sure, had boring ass PE class. So how do we scale a push-up, right? Well, by either adding to or taking away weight from the body. So I talked about 2 different variations of movement, a planche push-up or a one-arm push-up. We're not gonna worry about the planche, we're only doing one-arm push-up. So, absolute easiest variation of the push-up is hands and knees, elbows in, and you just do a push-up, right? And you just keep doing those until they become easy, right? As they become easier, what we're gonna do is we're gonna start walking our hands out farther. Watch my hips. You see how there's more weight being loaded into my hands, right? And we do push-ups here, right? Then eventually, we get to our toes, and we do push-ups, okay? So once you get to the point of being able to do full range of motion, really strong push-ups, how do we make push-ups even harder? So the way you can do this to carry over to a one-arm push-up is your next step would be a very close push-up, okay? What is very close? The way I define it, fingertips touching, diamond push-ups, right? Down in Dallas Page. But close is subjective, right? So what if you can't do the diamond right off the bat? What if you start out here? Well, it's pretty simple. You just start going closer and closer and closer, doing reps and doing reps and doing reps until you develop it, right? So eventually you're down to here and you're just doing your push-ups with a very close grip, right? Make sure you have a standard range of motion, like you're going all the way down, all the way up. Don't cheat yourself, shit like that. So once you go from there, how do we get harder than a close push-up? Well, this is when we start taking weight off of one hand. And a really simple way to do that, I have a slam ball, but you can do this with anything. You can do this with yoga blocks. You could do this, probably do it with the dog, if they'll let you. Literally anything. You just stack shit up. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna put your one hand up on the ball, right? Other hand goes down, and then you do your push-ups, right? Same thing. Make sure you do both sides. As you get better at that, you start moving the ball out. So eventually you get to the point where the ball's out very far away, right? So there's a lot more weight on that. You do a push-up, just like that. Once you get to there, you're ready for the full one-arm push-up. Hopefully I can still do some. I just did them today, so don't laugh at me. But one-arm push-up is kind of like your peak. Like I said, I do sets of 5 for these. And they're tough. They're not easy to do. The way I do them was with my feet shoulder width, wider apart, and my free hand behind my back. Some people say feet together, keep yourself parallel to the ground. I find that just jacks my shoulder up, so I don't do it. I don't know if there's something wrong with it. It's just I don't like hurting my shoulders. So the way I'll start is slightly wider, and I go back like this. See how I have a nice straight line, hip in line with the elbow, okay? And behind the back, and then you do push-up. That's all you do. That's the peak. So once you get to that point, it's simply doing as many as you can do without a break. If you can do 5, do sets of 5. Until you can't, do sets of 5. And do 4, then 3. You just keep developing, right? So the way I would set this up overall is maybe go for like 5 sets. And have like a total amount of repetitions in mind, because that's how we're gonna measure strength. So if you want 50 reps of a movement, you need 5 sets of 10, correct? And then what you do is you just start working towards that goal. And as the easier variations become easier, you progress to harder and harder variations. And you just keep trying it until you can do it. And really what it all boils down to is just hard work and applying yourself. So that's scaling the one-arm push-up. Ken's is gonna do the one-arm push-up. She's gonna attempt it. Guys, I know you're used to seeing her be a super badass sidewalk cracking, ass kicker. Oh, look at you, Ken! She did a one-arm push-up. Oh my God, she's so strong. How do you feel? Yeah. So, actually, Nicole, this might be good for you. Hey, Ken, when you first started doing calisthenics and bodyweight stuff, how many push-ups could you do?
Not very many.
Okay.
Maybe 8 to 10.
Right. How many pull-ups could you do?
None.
None. So,
0.
What did you do to develop your pull-ups?
I worked on a lot of rows.
And eventually,
Lots of rows, and then I did pushing into pull-ups, and then I did kipping, and then now I can do pull-ups.
see, so she just found her own way to scale it. Would you say you just kind of figured it out as you went? Once you get the idea of how to make a movement easier,
Yeah.
you just get better and better at it, right? Now look at her. There she goes, dude. Like I said, she like a year ago? Maybe two years ago.
2 years.
About 2 years ago, she couldn't do a single pull-up, and there she is. Super proud of her. Yeah. Okay, so as promised, we'll progress towards a one-arm pull-up, a one-arm chin. I abbreviate OAC. If you ever see me write OAC, that's what it means. Like I said, we need to think of this stuff contextually, right? So if you want to do calisthenics power moves, you might be training a little bit differently. So what I mean is like front levers and back levers, multi-planar type movements. But for the purpose of just building strength, I personally feel that a one-arm chin-up, a one-arm pull-up, it's pretty badass. Like you're strong as shit if you're pulling your body weight from a on a good day, and I mean a really good day, when I'm not fat and I'm feeling strong, I can do everything. And it sucks. So I'm not there yet, but the way you go about this is the exact same thing we did with the push-ups. And again, the way you scale these movements is going to be up to feel. You're going to figure out as you do it what works for you, what builds that movement, and then you just do it. It's up to you to decide what is best for you. Okay? So I'm here to equip you with some tools, but at the end of the day, which tool you use is entirely your choice. How you implement it, you can get into that later. So basic way to start is just leverage, right? The hardest way to do it is going to be obviously pulling from overhead, full range of motion with one hand. That's the top end. But what if you're not even there yet, okay? So what I would suggest is start doing rows on maybe like a doorway, right? Hopefully this doesn't fall over on me. But what I mean is just grab the doorway and you just start doing rows. Just like that, full range of motion. And as you bring your feet in closer, right, you're gonna be adding more weight to the pull. So eventually when you get to a point where you can get like a dip stand or some rings or something to pull on, you can use a table if it's sturdy enough, please don't hurt yourself. You get to the point where your feet are out in front of you, right? What we want is we want a nice straight line in the body. So what I mean by that is we don't want like any banana back or set. Right? You can start with the hips low, right? But what we want to do is we want to the row. Okay? As we do this, what we're going to start doing is gradually transitioning so we're more vertical. Okay? So basically the step right before you go on to full pull-ups is going to be kind of like a pull from the floor. Okay? So we're done with the rowing variations. I like to train the one-arm chin-up a couple of different ways, and it's largely what I have in the tank that day. So obviously, you have pull-ups. Okay, you go wide, you go closer. Okay? The closer you get to that grip, the easier or the harder and more carryover it's going to get to your one-arm pull. Okay? So, how do we progress to that closer grip? Eventually, you're going to start doing wide grip pull-ups, right? All the way up. For whatever reps you can do. As you get better at that, you're going to come in to either close grip chin-ups or pull-ups. I like to have my hands facing forward. Some people like outwards. It's entirely up to you how you do it. So once you get there, this is going to be the step right before you start dropping off an arm. So these are close grips, and it's literally a close grip. Right? As close as you can. Pull to the chest, all the way up, all the way down. So how do we start transitioning from two arms to one arm? Okay. You can do either archer pull-ups, or you can do, I don't even know what they're called. I call them like Kimura pull-ups or double wrist lock pull-ups because it looks like a grappling position where you can snap someone off. Okay, so the archer pull-up is pretty cool. It's like an archer. So one hand's going to be out, just like the pull-up we did, and one hand is in. And all you're doing is this hand's out a ways, and you're going to pull more to this side. So we're here, just like that. Then you do reps and you progress through there. God, this isn't making any sense.
It is.
It is? Okay. So you could do that one. The one I'm working on, these are tough, but I like them. Is you're going to take your hand grip, and you're going to grab your wrist. Okay? These get harder as you get sweatier. And all you're going to do is you're going to do another pull-up. Here. You can chin up over. And that's your one-arm pull. Like I said, I can't really do too many harder variations beyond that. I'm sorry, I'm just not there yet. But I've been doing sets of 5 to 8 of that lately. My goal right now is to maybe hit like 3 sets of 10 before I really start doing that. From that point, the next progression I would make is like a negative. Or a half one-arm pull-up, however you want to do it. A negative is like doing the hardest part, or like doing the easiest part of the lift, excuse me. So what I do is I jump up, right? Using both hands. One hand comes off, and down, right? And you just try and control the descent down. Obviously, it's very hard to do. I'm not even close to that yet.
Let's see it.
What?
Your one arm. Let's see where you're at.
Oh, that's it.
You're so close though. You want to see mine?
Yeah.
I can barely do pull-ups with 2 hands.
They suck. They're very hard.
Oh, I gotta grab it.
There you go.
That's as close as I'm getting.
So you get the idea. So you get better at rowing, and then as you get better at rowing, you transition more into a pull-up. And then as you get better at pull-ups, what do? Well, then you just take one hand off and find different ways to load that. So that's that. It's the basic way of scaling it. I know it's a lot of information to throw at you guys all at once. That's upper body strength basics. What do you say, guys? Should I do another block of this detailing different variations of upper body movements? You know, should I do like a whole month of upper body week? You know, upper body work, and show you everything that I do, how I do it, how I implement. Leave a comment down there. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and if you're really cool and you feel like being an ultimate badass, friends and come have and check out the Badger Clan. What do you got to lose? It's free. Be fierce. Peace!